Race to join Fulham over in the Premier League is cranking up a notch as Bournemouth failed to take advantage, taking on strugglers, of course, this past midweek, and only mustering a draw. But what's going to happen this weekend? We'll take a little look. Look! Next! That's right, folks. Back once again, a prediction video today. Look forward to match day number 37 over in the Championship. And we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new, where you been? Stop what you're doing, swallow what you're doing, smash your subscribe, keep your bag out today. All things Rovers related, Championship related, world football related. We got it all here, boys. Under one Ruski. Of course, games coming thick and fast, especially over in the Championship. But of course, this time next week, 2 more games would have been played, and of course, who will know? Who knows will be in the top 2 alongside Fulham. We'll take a look at all of it in a minute. Of course, big shout out to from our VIPs, the Patreons, guys. Thank you for your love, of course, behind the scenes. But anyway, let's get into it. Of course, recapping the results for the bonus week, the Brucey bonus. That was this week. Barnsley against Stoke was a draw in the end. A good point in the bag for Barnsley, but of course, could have been more. But unfortunately, StokeLastminute.com picking up their equaliser. Sheffield United, they took it to them, didn't they? They took it to Middlesbrough 4-1 in the end over at Bramall Lane. Back to business. Of course, Sheffield United, right, they're heating up at right time, aren't they? Coventry City lost at home to Luton Town, who were right back in the thick of things as well. Bournemouth, look at only muster a draw against Peterborough. Swansea got hammered by Fulham and own Rovers. Look at that shit show extraordinaire. We just don't know where the back of the net is. 0-0 draw in the end. So at the table, of course, as you can see, Fulham looking good right now. Of course, Bournemouth are technically in second, but only just. Of course, that point, of course, moves them over into second spot. Of course, 3 games in hand over the likes of Huddersfield. Of course, could close in potentially on Fulham, but of course, they've got to get the points on the board first. And if they keep playing the way they're playing, they're not going to do it, are they? Meanwhile, Huddersfield, of course, are back into third, Rovers into fourth for the time being. And again, we'll have to see where we all shape up at the end of this game then, shall we, of course. Down the foot of the table, of course, Peterborough going down right now, 22 points on the board. Closing in, maybe. It is tight between 24th and 22nd. Reading are doing A-OK for the time being. Hull City got a bit of a gap as well. So I think 4 from 3 or 3 from 4 going to go down, of course, unless Reading, Hull, Bristol City get themselves sucked into a mess, which they can't get themselves out of. That's, of course, the state of play there. Let's take a look at, of course, the mini leaderboard. Not great indeed for some of you guys, but some of them are flexing the muscle. Shane O'Donnell, James Peterson are great. Hans Worst doing very, very well there. 4 out of 6, I think. Let's take a look at the mini leaderboard. This is the second half of the season, and it is Shane O'Donnell, 78 points on the board. Well done to you, Gaffer Rooney. Of course, kicking ass and taking names. What about, of course, you guys? You can get involved with it. Cut the Championship is free to enter. Get in amongst it. Get your name in lights next weekend. So speaking of next weekend, these are the games. So let's jump in the deep end, of course, have a look at it. Bournemouth will not go. Yeah, we're going to go Bournemouth. Bournemouth straight off the bat there, taking on Derby County over at the Vitality. Now, these two sides have played each other 7 times, 2013. No wins for Bournemouth. They've never beaten Derby over the course of the last 7 games, stretching all the way up to 2013. 5 for Derby and 2 draws. Just 1 defeat, though, in the past 5 for Bournemouth right now. 58% form up against the Derby County side, who have had the stuff knocked out of them in recent weeks, but just 1 win in the last 4. 33% form for them. Of course, last time around, though, at Vitality, it was a 1-1 draw. That's back in October 2020. The reverse fixture, though, at Pride Park back in November was a 3-2 win for Derby. Meanwhile, Derby coming to this on the back of a 2-0 win over Barnsley. Meanwhile, Bournemouth picked up a 1-1 draw against Peterborough and haven't won in back-to-back games now. Kicking on forward, though. Bournemouth coming at you 50-8 on for the victory. 40-5 is short. 11-2 is your away win on this one. I'm going to back, of course, Bournemouth here. 2-1 win. Despite my hopes and dreams that Derby will pick up the win, I don't see it happening. 2-1 win for them in the end. Birmingham City take on Hull City, of course, in the Steve Bruce derby, I would say. Played each other 18 times, done 6, 5 was Birmingham, and 9 for Hull, and 4 draws, of course. Just, what are we looking at here? Just 1 win and 4 for Birmingham right now, 42% form up against the Hull City side. Just 1 win and 6 for them, 33% form for them at the moment. Of course, last time round, though, over in Birmingham was a 3-3 draw. That was back in June 2020. The reverse fixture over the KCOM was a 2-0 win for Hull City as well. Of course, the away side hasn't won this game since Hull City beat Birmingham way back in, of course, November 2012. Meanwhile, Hull picked up a 2-0 loss against West Brom. And of course, Birmingham picked up a 2-1 win over Bristol City last time around. The odds right here, right now. Birmingham City 23-20 for the victory, 25 is your away win, and 23-10 is your draw. Back, of course, Birmingham City 2-0 win for them at home to take it. Next, of course, we have my boys. It is Blackburn Rovers up against Bristol City in a game we must win. Really, we've been saying that for the past 7 or 8 games now. We must win this game. Played each other 14 times in 2012. Of course, Blackburn coming to this 33% form, just 1 win and 6 for them up against the Bristol City side. Of course, just 1 win and 5 for them, 33% form for them. At the moment, moment. Of course, last time around, though, at Ewood Park, it was a 0-0 draw. That was back in March 2021, the reverse fixture, when we were on the road. Of course, we did a live on-the-road watch-along. That was back in November 2021. Rovers, though, not really Rovers, but Bristol City unbeaten against Rovers over the last 3 games. And Rovers just one defeat against Bristol City over the last 5 games. Anyway, kicking on forward, though, last time round, Rovers pick up a 0-0 draw against Millwall, back-to-back, haven't conceded a goal in the last 2 home games. We'll go with that one. Meanwhile, Bristol City coming to this on the back of a 2-1 loss against Birmingham City. That was, of course, at home. The odds right here, right now. Rovers coming at you. 10-7 on for the Richard. 13-5 is your draw. 4-1 is your away win. Rovers have to win someday. They're going to win here. 2-0 win for me. Going bold on this one. Going heavy with a 2-0 goal push for Rovers. Blackpool up against Swansea over at Bloomfield Road. Of course, bit of a mid-table crunch clash right now. Played to the 10 times in 2005. 4 for Blackpool, 2 for Swansea, and 4 draws. Of course, back-to-back wins for Blackpool right now. 50% form. 1-2, lost 2, drawn 2 over the last 6. Up against Swansea side. 1-3, lost 3. 50% form for them at the moment as well. Last time round, though, at Bloomfield Road was a 5-1 win for Blackpool. That was back in March 2010 in the Championship. Meanwhile, the reverse fixture over in Wales, it was a 1-1 draw back in the Championship, of course, in November. Blackpool picking up a 1-0 win over Stoke last time around, picking up back-to-back wins, of course, Reading and Stoke. Meanwhile, Swansea coming to this on the back of a 5-1 loss to Fulham. The odds right here, right now, coming at you, Blackpool 7-5 for the victory, 90-10 is your away win, and 23-10 is your bloody draw. Back, of course, the home side here, 1-0 win for them to take it to the house. Up to Wales we go. Cardiff up against Preston over at Cardiff City Stadium. And I played each other 28 times since 2003. 12 wins to Cardiff, 9 wins to Preston, and 7 draws. Back-to-back wins though for Cardiff right now. 58% form up against the Preston side, who have also come to 58%. Just one defeat the past 6 for Preston right now. 58% form. Coming at you though, last time round over in Wales, it was in the league. It was a 4-0 win for Cardiff. That was back in February 2021. The reverse fixture though for Preston in Preston back in November was a 2 win for Cardiff. Meanwhile, Cardiff also beat Preston in the FA Cup back in, of course, the 9th of March. 2-1 it was in the end. So Cardiff coming to this on the back of 5 wins in succession over Preston. Can they make it 6? Of course, Cardiff picking up a 2-1 win over QPR last time round. Preston picking up a 2-1 win over Bournemouth last time round. The odds right here, right now. Cardiff coming at you 11-8 for the victory, 11-5 is draw, 2-1 is your win, pal. What am I going to go for this one? Going to go with the 1-0 win for the host to make it 6 on the bounce against Preston North End. Kicking on forward is Coventry City up against Sheffield United over at the Rico. Are Coventry in the race, or are they starting to fade out? Of course, played each other 32 times since 1993. 11 wins to Coventry, 12 wins to Sheffield United, and of course 9 draws. Coventry though without a win in 3 now. 42% form up against the Sheffield United side. Of course, just 1 defeat at the past 6. 67% form for them at the moment. Of course, last time around over at Coventry, it was a 2-1 win for Sheffield United. That was back in December 2016. The reverse fixture though at Bramall Lane was a 0-0 draw way back in November. Coming at you though, Coventry picking up a 1-0 loss against Luton Town. Sheffield United with a 4-1 win over Middlesbrough, of course, to flex their muscles a little bit as well. Kicking on forward on the odds, 17-10 is your Coventry, 13-8 is your Sheffield United, 11-5 is your draw. Back, of course, a draw here, 2-2 in the end. A point keeps us a minute. Sheffield United, of course, moving an edge closer to locking in on a playoff spot. Kicking off forward, Barnsley, of course, up against Fulham, bit of a top of the table, bottom of the table crunch clash. Played with 11 times in 1999. 4 was the Barnsley, 6 for Fulham, and 1 draw. Just 1 defeat the past 4 for Barnsley right now, for 58% form up against the Fulham side of 1-4 on the bounce, 83% form for them at the moment. Of course, last time around though at Oakwell was a 1-0 win for Barnsley. That's back in August 2019. The reverse fixture over at Cambridge Cottage this season was a 4 win for Fulham back in the day. In fact, just 1 win at the past 3 games for Fulham over Barnsley. Actually, not too shabby result as well. Barnsley picked up a draw against Stoke, of course. Fulham with a 5-1 demolition of Swansea in Swansea last time around. The odds right here right now, Barnsley 92 for the victory, 2-1 on is your Fulham, and 7-2 is your draw. Back, of course, the 3-0 win for Fulham on this, and again 3 more points, and of course closer to the Prem. Into a bit of a beast team on here. Millwall against Middlesbrough over at the Den. Of course, a crunchy clash here. Of course, a chance for Millwall to maybe close in on top 6. A chance for Middlesbrough to get himself back in the thick of things. Played to the 25 times in 1993. 7 wins for Millwall, 10 wins for Middlesbrough, and 8 draws. Of course, Millwall come to this 92% form, winning 5 and drawing 1 at the last 6. Of course, unbeaten in the last 6 up against the Middlesbrough side. 1-3, lost 3 at the last 6. 50% form for them at the moment. Of course, last time around though at Millwall, it was a 1-0 win for Millwall. That's back in March 2021. The reverse fixture though at the Den, it was a 1-1 draw back in November. Coming at you though, Millwall with a 0-0 draw against Rovers last time around, and haven't conceded a goal in 3 games in succession. As for Middlesbrough, they come on the back of that 4-1 loss against Sheffield United. The odds right here right now, Millwall 7-4 for the victory, 64 is your Middlesbrough, and 11-5. Nope, is 23-10 is your draw on this. Back, of course, Millwall here to get the win. 1-0 win, of course, another clean sheet to boot. Kicking forward in a bit of a Greater London affair, it's Luton Town up against QPR, taking place on Sunday, March the 13th. Now, these two sides have played each other 16 times in 2002, 3 wins to Luton Town, 8 wins to QPR, and 5 draws. Just one win. The past 3 games to Luton Town, 67% form up against the QPR side, just 1 win and 6 for them, 25% form for them at the moment. Of course, last time around, though, over in Kenilworth Road, it was a 2-0 win for QPR. That's back in January 2021. The reverse fixture at Loftus Road was a 2-0 win for QPR. QPR coming to this on the back of an unbeaten run against Luton Town in the last 5 occasions, winning 4 and drawing 1. Meanwhile, Luton coming to this on the back of a 1-0 win over Coventry at Coventry, with QPR picking up a 2-1 loss against Cardiff. Meanwhile, the odds on this one, we have Luton Town 6-5 at the 11-5 issue QPR and 12-5 issue draw. Really could go either way. I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw on this one, point split right in the middle, and I think QPR will be happier out these two sides. Forest, that's Nottingham Forest up against strugglers Reading. Of course, Forest into the FA Cup quarter-finals now. Of course, battling on multiple fronts. Played each other 33 times since 1997. 11 wins for Nottingham Forest, 12 wins for Reading, and 10 draws. Of course, Forest, though, come to this 75% form. 1-3, drawn 3 of the last 6, unbeaten in the last 7. Up against the Reading side, of course, back-to-back defeats for them. 42% form for Reading right now. Last time around at the City Ground, it was a draw back in March 2021, around about this time last season. Up against the Reading side, of course, last time around at Reading, at the Matchday, was a 1-1 draw back in November. Kicking off forward, though, Reading picking up a 1-0 loss to Millwall last time around, and of course Forest with a 2-1 win over Huddersfield Town in the FA Cup. The odds: Forest 7-4 for the victory, 3-1 is your draw, and 90-4 is your away win. That is, of course, Reading going to back the course of Forest here, 3-1 win for them to take it to the house. Of course, posh Peterborough up against Stoke City now. Let's get into the deep end on this one then. So Peterborough locking horns with Stoke City over at the Abax Stadium. Of course, locking horns for what will be the fourth time since 1994. 2 wins for Stoke, nothing for Peterborough, and 1 draw. Of course, Peterborough, though, haven't picked up a win in the last 4 home matches. Of course, 8% form for them right now. Up against the Stoke side, also haven't won in the last 7 games. 17% form for them at the moment. You're playing them at the right time, of course. Last time around at Peterborough was a 1-1 draw. That was back in February 1994. Wow. Of course, last time around at Stoke, though, back in November, was a 2-0 win for Stoke. Of course, Peterborough picking up a draw against Bournemouth last time around. Of course, and Stoke picking up a draw against Barnsley last time around. The odds, basic odds on this one, you back your Stoke on this. They are your favourites. Of course, Peterborough are your underdogs. I'm going to go with a 1-0 win in the end for Posh on this one. Surprise win there. Kicking off forward to the final game now will be West Bromwich Albion. They're going to be taking on, who are they going to be taking on? They're going to be taking on, all the way there, Huddersfield Town coming at you on Friday now. We'll save the first till last over at the Hawthorns, of course. It's the Steve Bruce Derby 2.0. 18 times they played since 1995, 5 wins for West Brom, 10 for Huddersfield, and 3 draws, of course. West Brom, though, 25% forward for them right now, just 1 win and 6. Up against the Huddersfield Town side, just 1 defeat past 6. That was the FA Cup loss to Nottingham Forest. Coming at you, though, last time around at the Hawthorns, it was a 4-2 win for the Baggies back in September 2019. The reverse fixture at the John Smith's Kirklees McAlpine Stadium was a 1-0 win for Huddersfield Town. Coming at you, though, last time around over at for West Brom, they did pick up a 2-0 win over Hull. As for, of course, Huddersfield, they did lose to Forest last time around. Coming at you, though, the odds right here right now, 11-10 on is your West Brom, 5-2 is your 13-5 is your away win here. That is, of course, fruity. Going to go with a win for West Brom here. And I know Bruce thinks they're out of it, but this could put them right by the thick of things. And maybe a late push for the top 6. Get the groove on, guys. Get the groove on. That's, of course, my take on it. Be sure to get your own take on it. Cutley/Championship. And that is it. We'll be back, of course, early next week. Maybe Sunday, maybe Monday for the next round of matches. But until then, guys, smash the thumbs up, smash the subscribe. See you soon for the next one, of course. For now, we're done.